Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey.
Guys, welcome to the Large Marge Santa's podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweet sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweetie with a Y.
And I'm Sweetie with an IE.
And today we're celebrating a fan
favorite.
Fantastic. So we got a fan. Her name's Michelle.
Michelle D.
Her birthday is next week, I think. And she's kind of obsessed with this movie, I think. Every time we do a Kirsten Dunst movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is when she makes her move and is like, you have to watch Drop Dead Gorgeous. And we're like, listen, Michelle, we haven't seen it yet, but we're going to save it for your birthday. So, ta-da! Happy birthday to you.
We watched Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Happy birthday to you.
It was pretty good.
Happy birthday, dear Michelle.
Allison Janey is amazing.
I love her. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Woo.
Sweetie Club superfan, Michelle. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So, here's our present to you. We watched Drop Dead Gorgeous from 1999. Cusp of the millennium.
Cusp of the millennium. 1999.
What
Was
a flick.
Pretty
it
good
is.
year.
What a flick it is. Sweetie, would you say this is a dark comedy?
Yes. Dark comedy, dark mockumentary, starring a lot of really well-known people from the 90s era, I guess. I'd say it's a smattering of superstars, if I do say so myself.
So the cast is jam-packed. And I did some research and I was trying to figure out, like, you know, there's a lot of like mockumentaries at around this time, right? Mm-hmm. And not saying that mockumentaries like didn't happen before this time. Let's remember, this is Spinal Tap, probably one of the more famous ones, right? That was in the 80s, yeah. Okay. But then you had all like the Christopher Guest ones, which really came about like mid 90s.
Wasn't that a Christopher Guest one?
Oh, sorry. And then you had the 90s Christopher Guest ones. So Waiting for Guffman, Mighty Wind, Best in Show. All I think the started in 96 and then they went through like early 2000s. So, you know, it was like mockumentary time.
Yeah.
Now, I am not a huge fan of the mockumentary genre because I feel like it got overdone a lot and it has to be like really, really good to be. And to be honest, I know this is unpopular or people might be shocked, but I've never seen the Christopher Guest ones. Oops.
What? Yes, you have.
I know.
We watched this as Spinal Tap together.
That is the one I've seen. I have not seen the
You've
three
never
from the
seen
90s.
Best in Show?
No, I've never seen Best in
I think
Show.
we've watched that
Maybe
together.
like scenes or clips, but
the Bumblebee?
No.
Parker Posey?
yeah, no, never seen him.
What?
So yeah, so I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the way, mockumentaries really like turned me off. So I was interested to watch this one, not totally knowing it was a mockumentary. I guess when we turned it on,
I had no idea.
yeah. And so you have like, you know, the camera crew dynamic and sort of the people like on the outside looking in. And then you have a bunch of like subtitle shit that, you know, I kept missing. And Sweetie was like, pay attention because I kept being like, what? Wait, who's that? Like I was on my phone and just like trying to deal with some drama of my own. And like I just was missing all this shit. So if you guys watch this, there are subtitles, so pay attention.
Well, like title, like things on the screen saying like what something is.
This is who this is. This is this event. Blah blah blah. So yeah, I like missed that. But yeah, this movie is pretty funny.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good in that like understated funny. I mean, there was like definitely some parts that I guffawed, laughed out loud. But I don't think you're necessarily like rolling in the aisles. But just like it's very clever very clever humor, which I really admire almost more than anything. I love clever humor, you know?
Clever.
Not that I don't love a good slapstick or a good poop joke.
I mean, there was some of that. I feel like there was like
definitely.
a mixture of that, and I think that a lot of the best jokes are the best delivered ones. So I feel like it's mostly the Allison Janey stuff. She's just a treasure, a pure treasure.
Yeah, so let's go who's in it because, like we said, powerhouse
So
of talent.
Kirsten Dunst, everyone's favorite. Obviously was having a few really great years at this point. I think Bring It On was after this, but obviously Interview with a Vampire when she was little, then like
Little
some
Women.
other stuff, Little Women, Virgin Suicide. She was in a bunch of good things. But I love her, and I love her even more today. She's really, I feel, grown as an actress. It's funny, in this movie, everybody has a Minnesota accent, and she has one, but she also had one when she was in Fargo Season 2. So I thought it was like a funny foreshadowing that I enjoyed a lot.
Well, so here's my thing about Kirsten Dunst. As I said, in the movies that we've covered her, hated her in Little Women because obviously what happened in that movie.
Is it
not
Kirsten
her fault.
or Kristen Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst.
Like the doll, like the American Girl doll?
Or is it Kristen? I thought it was Kirsten K.I. So anyway, hated her in Little Women. That really took me on a turn for Kirsten or Kirsten Dunst. I hated her for a couple years. And then Bring It On came on. I didn't hate her in that, but just something about her boobs like really bugged me.
And because her name is Torrance, we went through it. There's like something
Listen to the
not
Bring It On
likable
episode.
about her, but I like her because I like Kirsten Dunst.
But there's no doubt about her acting talent and her skill. She's great.
She's great. She's great comedic. She has great comedic timing and is a good like dramatic actress as well. So she's fantastic. We've got Denise Richards as her kind of nemesis.
Also having a moment in the
Also a
90s.
90s movie. Wild Things. Who can forget Wild Things? The World Is Not Enough.
Okay.
Maybe that was in the 2000s. What else is she in?
Just like random shit. Every time I look at her, I'm like, how did you ever get married to Charlie Sheen? Did you think about that? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, well, everyone knows Denise Richards, but I do appreciate in this movie, I think Denise Richards works best when she's like in on the joke and like she's playing a certain like character of herself kind of in a way is when she works best. So she works very well in this movie, I would
You
say.
mean it didn't work well when she played a nuclear physicist named Christmas Jones in the Bond movie?
No, it didn't work
Worst.
well
That
at
movie
all.
was just like a wet t-shirt contest for
it
her
was
giant
disgusting.
boobs.
It
I
was
was like
so bad.
the worst of those.
Awful. But
God.
no, this is good, and so yeah, she definitely should stick to the comedies, because that is her strong suit. Then we've got Kirstie Alley. Whoa, Kirsten Dunst, Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
That's wow.
I think
That's,
her real name is just Kirstie, and she's like,
rare.
I want to be different.
Maybe could be. Yeah, haven't seen her in a dog's age.
Dog's age.
Currently. I mean,
our,
she's-
Look Who's Talking,
Right,
babe.
Like she's our main squeeze from that. But 90s, Veronica's Closet was huge, right? Cheers, obviously, she was in. So like, I think a lot of her fame came from there. But like,
Yeah, also someone's great, good comedic timing.
Her rage freakouts. We're all familiar with that. So love her. Allison Janey, obviously America's number one sweetheart. We love her so much, too much, really.
I mean, it's just you can't put her in movies because she's going to steal the show, and like I feel bad about that in some ways because she's not a central character here. She's a very good character here, but the woman has nailed the like crude, rude woman to a T. And it's great because when she had her turn in West Wing, obviously that was a very different character. You had CJ, Greg. Being like pretty refined, smart woman. Obviously, she was like the press secretary, so she was speaking a lot and just like very composed. But man, she plays these like nasty ladies so well, and you like them so much. It's insane.
But yeah. But I feel like this was a mix of like Tanya Harding's mom, but was nice.
Which came years later,
right, but she was nice.
Yeah.
So like you did like her, like, and she did support Amber. So it was a good character. We also have some side characters that you may know. Brittany Murphy, R.I.P. I think I'm going to say I'm gonna come in hot here and say that this was a missed opportunity to have Brittany Murphy sing. I was really looking forward to that when I saw that she was like a Broadway person and had Broadway posters in her bedroom. I was like, oh my God, she's gonna sing, but she doesn't sing. I was really let down by that, but whatever. I love when Brittany Murphy sings. She has a great voice. But yeah, so Brittany Murphy, Amy freaking Adams in maybe her first movie, like a little baby. 25-year-old baby looks
oh my God,
15.
she's so skinny.
Yeah.
Like not unrecognizable. And as I said to Sweetie, it's not that Amy Adams is like fat and she's a very like thin person, I guess, but something. And I was like, whoa, like this was like, I'd love to talk to her and be like, did you have anorexia for this film? Because like her face even, it was nuts. And I watched kind of recently, Junebug, which is really sweet if you've never seen that movie. And I
like
think
her
that
breakout
that was
movie?
her breakout one, but I think that came a tiny bit later than this. And she filled out a little bit, but
Is that movie a comedy?
that's also like I don't know if I'd say dark comedy, tragic maybe. It's very like tragic comedy.
Okay.
But she's
Yeah,
really
because
good
she
in
did
that.
a lot of like comedic things kind of before.
But similar character.
her
She plays
drama
like
turn.
the sort of sweet, dim-witted Southern or Midwestern person, like in that as well. And so that was this one, but yeah, she's great in this.
Oh. Who else?
Ellen Barkin.
Yeah.
So she's like a famous older actress. I can't recall exactly what she's been in, but a lot of famous things. And she's great.
Yeah.
Love that bitch. If she because of what happens with her character, the Allison Janey character can like step in. So I'm like glad that happened. And she was mostly like just in the hospital with like her weird funky hand. But yeah, she was great. And so she was like the Kirsten Dunst's mom, former beauty queen. So she's all like made up, but she's like white trash. And so, okay, so we'll finish the people and then I'll talk about the place. Last but not least, Frau Farbitna.
Farbitna. Farbisna?
Farbisna?
Frau Farbisna?
Anyway, Frau from Austin Powers movies. Minnie
Someday we'll get your name.
Pearl?
No.
Minnie Driver. Minnie.
What? Wait,
I think her
what?
name's Minnie.
That's her
something.
real name?
Yeah.
Minnie Pearl?
Yeah.
That's not right. Minnie, the other Minnie Driver. Yes, let me know when you find that out. But she was
sorry.
great.
Mindy Sterling.
So not like that at all.
Kind of close. Yeah, she was good. So she was like the little sidekick. Yeah, so like tons of fucking famous ladies. And, as I always say, there's, not a lot of roles for women, blah, blah, blah. Good movie with roles for women.
A lot of roles for women. And
I
this
can't
one,
even
guys,
recall almost any of the men.
Right. And if they're the men that were present were like pedophiles or, something not great. So good for them. We did it, guys. A movie about women. What were you going to say about the place?
Okay, so this takes place in Minnesota. And, we're not from the Midwest, obviously. If any of you listeners are, I'd love to know your take on this. And I know it's a satire, but like, what do you feel about how they portray the Midwest, I guess, and the people? And because it really does take a ton of jabs on like Midwestern culture, in a funny way. And I think most of it is like in good spirits because every place. I mean, if they did one in Boston, obviously I know like what they would make fun of, and like I don't think I'd be offended. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really how it is.
Fun of like too many Midwestern-y things. I thought they did a good like balancing out of like normal people and like the people who are obviously crazy, right? So like,
who are the normal people?
Like, well, I feel like Kirsten Dunst, Brittany Murphy, like that.
Yeah, but they were trailer
they were
trash.
fine. They weren't both trailer trash.
No, Kirsten
Just
Dunst was.
Yeah, but she had a heart of gold.
She did.
So she's like a character you like. But I feel like with the Midwestern stuff, it was mostly is the accent like is the main driver, right? And the rest of the stuff is all just like 90s stereotypes and like.
Well, 90s stereotypes. You have the white trash stuff. You had like certain like obviously religion being like a huge part of life there.
But not for everyone.
But
That's
not-
the thing.
yeah.
Like if this was everybody was obsessed with religion instead of the bad evil character, then maybe I would be like, yeah, this isn't fair to Midwesterners. But I think this is what makes me think that's not the case. But that's just my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, but I just love to know if you're a Midwesterner or you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Do you
If
like
you're
this
really
movie?
nice
Are you
or
like-
are you pretend nice?
yeah.
yeah. So what else? Beauty
so-
pageants. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah, can't go wrong. So the director in this, and I'm forgetting his name, but was directed a lot of TV, including Reno 911. Sweetie, your favorite.
I was gonna say because Dangle is the cameraman, the voice of the cameraman, like who we never see him, but we hear his voice, and of course I knew it was Dangle right away. Thomas P. Lennon.
Right. So the
I
director
knew that.
is Michael Patrick Jan
Smuts.
Jan Jann, who has done mostly TV, but the ones that stood out to me were Reno 911 and then Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So we did a couple of those episodes, but like literally like any TV show you've ever heard, he's like directed an episode. So definitely I think more used to TV, but sweet, good job, buddy. Did kind of remind me of Reno 911 faux show.
Oh yeah, that documentary style.
Yeah,
same thing.
Right.
It's also kind of I got Wet Hot American Summer vibes a little bit too. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Okay, ready? Is that it? Any other intros?
No,
Nibbits?
I mean I want to talk ridiculously a lot about beauty pageants at the end because let me tell you, I was a fucking
Have
fan.
we ever done that?
What?
Have we ever talked about our love for beauty
No,
pageants on this podcast?
this is our first beauty
We haven't?
pageant movie.
I feel like there had to have been another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
I know, me too, because that was like a good
I have
chunk
a lot-
of our
yeah,
lives.
I have
and
a
I'm
lot of things
pumped
to
about
say.
it. To be clear, we were not in beauty pageants. We just watched them on TV, okay?
Get it right and pay the ride.
All right.
All
It's
right.
time for the sweetie synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties.
I got two things to say. Oof. Jesus Christ on a cross. I've heard of Jesus Christ on a cracker, too. Never heard of that one? Jesus Christ on a cracker. If they ask you to take your top off, get the money first.
True. Makes sense.
Honey,
Makes sense. Makes
They ask
sense.
you to take your top off,
Makes sense.
get the money first.
Amber Atkins is a teenage trailer park girl who wants to be Miss What is the pageant called? Miss Sarah Rose? No,
Miss American Teen Princess.
Which is a beauty competition, and I think it's kind of standing in here for Miss USA or whatever, like the
Well, it was at the regional level at this point.
I know, but it goes. It was still the Miss Princess, whatever, right? Because the cosmetic
Let's
company
just say it's
was,
the pipeline to Miss USA.
yes,
Miss Teen USA.
yeah. So, that is what she wants to do. So, filmmaking crew has come to film this historic event. They say there's some time span that's like 50 years ago. The first one happened. Blah 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 blah. So that's where we're at. So we meet all the contestants. So Amber, there's pretty much two contestants who are mostly in the running. We have Amber Atkins, who, again, trailer park, but with a heart of gold, has actual talent and is nice and is hardworking and has two jobs. She's great. And then Becky Lehman, who is the daughter of the woman who runs the pageant, who's like a crazy psycho pageant person who's way too into pageants, and it's kind of scary. Those are the two main ones. We meet some other competitors, but they're mostly just there for like the comedic goods. They all have like a type. So we're getting ready to do the pageant. Some weird stuff starts happening. People are dying, so it's strange. Amber gets a note in her locker that's like, "You're next," after the first victim who dies on a farm machine.
Tractor accident.
As in
it blows up.
or a thresher or something. It was crazy. Her boyfriend gets shot in the head, and she does the makeup at the old funeral home, so she has to do the makeup on him. Very sad. And then so there's just like unfortunate accidents.
Her trailer blows up.
Oh yeah, her trailer blows up. She's not there, but her mother was in there and gets her hand melted. What's the word there? Smelt? No. Melted like into a beer can, and it has a horrible burn injury from that, and they eventually just amputate her hand, and she gets a claw. What's with the claw hands? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Or is that just like, but like, how is that helpful? Why were they like, this will be more useful than a prosthetic hand?
Because like you can't move the fingers with it. I mean, I'm sure there's like
Oh, yeah.
advancements in
That's
it now.
right.
This isn't Star Wars.
You're
people.
right. I'm thinking of Luke
Yes.
Skywalker.
So that's really the only way they could do is to be like, okay, here's two hooks that can like symbolize kind of two fingers.
It's the two hooks that make sense. But whenever they show the like pirate one hook, I'm like, that is not practical.
That was not practical. That was just to scare people.
I know.
I mean, did pirates even have that?
I don't know. I think it's probably a nasty stereotype.
And like, how did a peg leg work?
These are all good questions for Pirate Day.
It's like someone just made that up in pirate lore. Like I don't, and like why are there so many like people with one leg?
We don't know if
or
it's true. A missing eye because they get into pirate skirmishes and lose limbs and eyes and stuff. That's my guess.
Here's the thing: I've never seen like say like Civil War people. Like a lot of people lost arms and legs in there. Never saw any like wooden shit then. Didn't see any hook arms for those people. Right?
It's probably true. Yeah.
You guys. Finding this out.
Yeah. Snopes.com. Figure it out. So these bad things are happening. A contestant gets like a light dropped on her head during the thing.
The rehearsal. Use your words.
Amber, I don't remember what it was called. Amber has some bad luck. Someone steals her costume for the talent portion, and crazy bitch. What's the Kirstie Alley's character's name? Luann something. Lehman is like, sorry, honey, you can't compete because the rule is your costume has to be approved a week before the pageant. So we're like, what the fuck? But
Gladys Lehman.
Gladys Lehman. But her friend, Brittany Murphy's character, is like, listen, I will bow out of the contest and you can wear my costume because I got this approved, so you can wear this. Loophole. So Amber does her routine. It's great. She's a great tapper. She does this great tap dance. Wow. I was impressed. Sweetie and I were super impressed.
Was that supposed to be Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson?
What?
Didn't it seem like that?
No.
I feel like she was tapping to Smooth Criminal.
There was a song playing, but it wasn't.
But the song was kind of that too. And then I was like, well, wait, that was supposed to be her original costume anyway, but I'm sorry. Rewatch it again,
was a
guys.
top hat and a tuxedo.
I think it's Smooth Criminal.
Remember
the video Smooth Criminal?
He doesn't wear a top hat.
Yeah, but he has
in
like
the thing.
He has like an outfit. Like that.
He has a Slick Rick suit on or whatever, like zoot suit. Zoot suit riot criminal. I don't know.
Just watch it again,
let
guys.
us
You'll
know.
see it.
Let us know what your thoughts are, Michelle. You're the expert. You let us know. So now it's time to announce the winners, and as in usual beauty pageant confusion. They do the third runner-up, the second runner. Oh,
Why
man,
do they
that
do
shit
that?
is so confusing.
It's so weird.
When I was little, I was like, I don't know what's happening. It was so confusing. I was like, is somebody winning?
It is third place, it is second place, and it is winner. Like, why did they do that?
I don't know. Don't complicate it, people.
So weird.
But Amber gets second place, essentially, first runner-up, and fucking Becky Lehman supposedly wins. So
do you think she really won?
I don't think she really won because
I
I think that's why her mom was like, that was supposed to be you up there or something. Yeah. And then so celebration, hooray! Now we have a parade to celebrate the winners, but mostly Becky. So her dream was, I guess, to ride in a giant flaming peacock in the parade.
I think it's a swan.
Sorry, a swan. Yeah, it's a swan. And she's like, Mom, I don't want to sit in the swan. It smells like gasoline. And she's like, too bad. So she goes up there, and the mom lights the swan.
The mom had designed this special float, and they got it from Mexico because the greaseball dad who sells stolen furniture got it real cheap in Mexico, and he pays in tacos. Racist. So it's not probably the best made float you've ever seen, and the Mexicans are probably also mad at him and was like, we're gonna fuck up this float.
I guess. So float catches on fire, goes up in flames. Becky's dead. She died. She's dead for real. Mom freaks out and then says all these things. So we find out she's the one who was offing people, but mostly because she was trying to get rid of Amber, who she deemed as her daughter's real competition. So then Amber gets crowned the winner because she's first runner up. So that's her duty, is to take over if something happens, right? So she does, and we're like, yay, end of movie. Nope, because she has to go on to the next round, which is the semi-national, regionals? I don't know. It's the state one, where all the little towns or cities in Minnesota compete to see who is Miss Minnesota, basically. So she goes to that. Luck/bad luck strikes again because everybody at the beauty pageant gets food poisoning from eating seafood.
Yeah, don't eat
Don't
seafood
do
in
that.
the Midwest,
Yeah,
guys.
that's
I'm wrong.
not. It's
And
like
she's a funny reason. So the only person who doesn't eat it is
Amber.
And her reason is like, my mom told me like never eat any animal that carries its house with them because you don't know the last time it was cleaned. Good point.
Yeah, but I think a better rule is don't eat seafood if you can't, if the ocean isn't within like a couple hours. Even though the stuff we get is from like India, whatever.
Mean, if it's lakes, if it's lake stuff like lake fish and stuff, that's obviously fine.
Okay.
But yeah, don't eat anything in the ocean if you're in the middle of the country.
Yeah, don't do it. So everyone gets food poisoning and is barfing everywhere, and Amber's the last one standing. So by default, she wins again. Woohoo! So then she's on to the final thing, and they arrive, and oops, the cosmetics company that sponsors this whole thing is out of business. They'd had some tax fraud, so that's it for that. So no final crown for Amber. However, the Gladys Lehman breaks out of prison, I guess, goes on a gun rampage, and tries to like shoot Amber, I guess, but there's a crowd of people watching, and she accidentally shoots a TV news reporter. Amber scoops up the mic and just takes over because her true idol in this world is Diane freaking Sawyer, and she's just a natural, and she takes over. And then the last we see is she got the job of the news anchor, and she has now achieved her real dream, which was to be a Diane Sawyer.
And have a
so
bowl
good
cut.
for her, and have a bowl cut. It looked fine. It was fine. It was like a newscaster haircut.
It aged her so dramatically.
I know.
It's
You're like,
amazing
whoa.
how a hair cut can like really change the way you look and are perceived. So did she make it? You bet.
Yeah.
Because
That was the real prize.
yeah, because beauty pageants are we'll talk about it, but originally scholarship pageants, right? So they're supposed to give you money to go on to greater things. And she didn't really need the money because she got greater things her own way.
She got a job that she actually liked. Yeah, I like that ending. I was like, at first, like, what? That's dumb that it's just like, don't show the final pageant. You're like, what the hell? But then it's like, this is the real.
I didn't even think the movie was going to go past like the
me neither.
initial pageant.
I know.
I'm
That's
like,
why
this
I thought,
keeps going?
I thought after Denise Richards went up in smoke that it was over. And I was like, oh my God. And then they would find out that actually Amber was the true winner or something. I don't know. I was shocked as well at that. But yeah, that's the flick. Again, mockumentary style with a lot of dark notes. I did really enjoy the people getting like killed or injured, but I wished it had been more people. Like, I thought like everybody was gonna get killed or hurt, and then it would only be Amber.
Yeah, then it just kind of petered off after the
they're
one
like,
girl got hit the
tried.
light. Yeah,
I will say there were too many contestants in the beginning. Of mockumentaries, you usually have like, I don't know, like 4 to 5 people that you meet, but this we met like 8, 10 people. I was losing track. I was like, I can't keep all these girls straight.
And some of them didn't really stand out. Like some of the contestants, I mean, the one who was adopted by like the Japanese people or whatever, don't totally remember her. And then what was the girl's deal who like fell on the horse and like bumped her vagina and then was icing it?
The dog lover?
That was the dog one.
Yeah.
Okay, she was the dog girl.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not sure what her stereotype was, but yeah, it was her. There's like the jock. There was Amy Adams was like the slutty hot girl. There was the girl who like wanted to be deaf. Like her whole thing was sign language. So her talent was.
Oh, that's why they said that.
Yeah, her talent was like a dance, but signing at the same time or something because her mom was deaf. And then she's the one that the light drops on her, and then I guess she turns deaf because of that. So she got her true wish. Did you just draw a penis on your scribble pad?
That's a heart.
Okay, looked like an erect penis.
Yikes.
Like a cartoon penis? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I see it. No. Oh, like the balls there? Oh, wow. Okay, I got to keep going with this then.
Yeah, it was a little scary. But yeah, I think there were maybe too many characters introduced. There's also the judges we meet. So a couple of characters that stop. Ew, you made it worse. Okay. Put that on Instagram, you dirty son of a bitch. That's gross.
Christ on a cracker.
But yeah, that's fun. But I do love the beauty pageant stuff, and I love any movie that has a beauty pageant element. And I think most recently Michelle tweeted, I mean, she usually tweets to us to watch this movie, but most recently was after we watched Shag, and we talked about how much we liked the small little beauty pageant scene. So she's like, well, you have to watch this then. So
right, that one. Legally Blonde, not Legally Blonde.
Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality. Hello,
oh my God, it's like my
love that
favorite.
Yeah, I just love a good pageant concept too, because they're so strange.
It's so
and
weird.
You can introduce like so much craziness because they're
but
so.
You get
weird.
a lot of but you get a lot of the same themes, I guess, in these pageant movies, right? Which is like, oh, pageants are stupid, but you find heart in them, like somehow. You have like your types, your stereotypes, kind of contestants, the overbearing pageant mom / host. Like there's all these elements. This one does a funny thing. The judges are like kind of a mess. I don't know why they picked these judges, but they did. One is like a pedophile, and
probably because it didn't matter who the judges were, because that girl was going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that if that is the case, and that she Gladys really like pretended that like she got the card and it said, that's what I thought.
Me too.
But then wouldn't the judges have been like, but they're probably scared maybe of Gladys. But I was hoping that somebody would be like, you Amber actually won, because I wanted her to like know that she won, right? And I feel like it was sad that she doesn't get to know that like she was the actual
maybe I heard of her
winner.
She did know. I mean, she was kind of
know.
like naive and sweet, so like maybe not, but
But so best part I think for movies about beauty pageants is usually the talent portion of the acts. So this one, you get your regular smattering of like not talents, and then one person who has a real talent. So Amber obviously has like a real talent and is a great tap dancer. The other talents are like, what the fuck was Denise Richards' talent? Because here's what she did. She was like, she spoke a song, spoke it in a poodle skirt, and then had like a Jesus on a cross come out and she danced with it. But like, why was she wearing a poodle skirt?
I don't know. I mean, I think that was just supposed to show that she had like no talent whatsoever. Like she was not a talented person.
It was so random.
She scammed her way to the top.
I've never seen anything so random in
so
my life.
random. And the Jesus, oh my God, the Jesus thing was hilarious. And it was like, I mean, she's basically singing a love song to Jesus and then like is
in a poodle skirt.
In a poodle skirt. Who knows? So then you had the Amy Adams character being a cheerleader for like live wrestling on stage. So that was interesting.
And was her boyfriend also a little bit gay? Was he like bisexual? Because like, why was he had to wrestle like during that, and then at the end he like kisses his friend on the mouth, like when Amy gets like the second runner up or whatever. So I thought maybe that was another joke, but yeah, that's her talent. Yeah. The dog girl is like, here are all the dog barks. She goes through like all the dogs and does the bark. The girl who wants to be deaf did the song with like signing it.
Yeah. The Western
dance with the fake guns. Yeah, it's so funny, and it's like I mean, it's a hard thing if you're like, you need to do a talent, but typically a talent is like a talent.
Well, that was going to be one of the questions I ask you. If you were in a beauty pageant, what talent would you do?
I don't dancing probably, okay. But like
But what if you don't have any of those?
You have to have one of those. Like, get good at something like that.
Well, for the professional ones, you do. Like, you have to learn how to do something.
Yeah. I just think it's so funny. I just think it's hilarious. It just like comes back to, and like in Shag, when like her talent was like this like slutty dance with the flag,
and then she did the scene from Gone with Wind.
Oh yeah.
But so not to drag in another movie, but Miss Congeniality.
Oh my God.
Miss Congeniality. So I like love that part where her was playing like those glasses,
the water glasses,
which are like, okay, that's actually like pretty cool. And then the second like round, or that was just the rehearsal, right? Yeah. But then the second round, people were like drinking out of the cup, so all the water levels were different.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
And then she used to do like the self-defense.
Oh, so good.
It's good.
And then there's also a part, the weirdest part in Miss Congeniality is when they do like the pre-whatever thing, the preliminaries. Mm-hmm. And they show a brief glimpse of a contestant doing a dance, I guess, with balloon animals, and I don't know what's happening, but that's like another weird talent thing where you're like, why is this a talent?
I can't remember. of all the beauty pageants that I've seen, and we never watched the one that had the talent. I
Miss
think it was
America
Miss America
had
was.
the talent. Yeah.
So
Miss
that one was
USA
like
did
rarely
not.
on. I feel like I saw it a couple times, but it was not on that often. And obviously, you would get the ballet girls. So there's a lot of ballet, a lot of dance in general. Singing was definitely one.
Opera instruments.
Yeah, opera instruments,
Yeah.
right? So I don't remember ever seeing any kind of weird ones like that.
Definitely
but-
not.
So you must
Baton
just have to,
twirling.
like, yeah,
That's a big one.
Tap. I'm sure
Yeah.
tap was one. So, but like I'm sure all those girls grew up. If you do beauty pageants to that level, like you probably have done it since you were a little girl, and you've been like kind of stoking those talent and like making sure you're good at something to be able to like have for that.
Yeah, you gotta have a talent.
Yeah.
You gotta have a talent.
Because
Everybody has
that
talent.
might not be in the Miss Teen USA, but I'm sure in any other pageant, like that's probably part of it. So
Probably.
yeah, I would do ballet.
Cool. Obviously. You'd be awesome.
I would.
Awesome at it.
Like, yeah.
What else? What else? Did any parts stick out to you as like really the best part, other than the first pageant stuff?
Yeah, like I saw the pageant stuff, so good. I loved any scene with Allison Janey, basically any scene between her and Alan Barkin, like any scene in the trailer, like with them like drinking beers or like smoking or whatever.
I did appreciate how like they make the trailer people much more appealing than the rest of the people in the movie, so it makes it like less offensive. I thought, except for the girls in the bathroom who were like pregnant and smoking.
They were funny though.
Yeah.
I loved like Ellen Barkin's like funny little like I had to write them down because they were so funny. She calls things like funny little names that I guess are like kind of Midwestern like twee kind of. So she calls so Kirsten Dunst's character works in a funeral home. The girl like works a ton, so she like cleans the lunch trays in the cafeteria for what? I don't know, extra money?
Yeah.
It's a public school.
No, I think she. I don't
extra money.
I guess, yeah.
And then she works at a funeral home as a mortician, like putting makeup on people.
Like Shelley
like
in
Shelley,
My
yeah.
Girl.
Is that a mortician? Or is that who like
I think
does
that's
the
what her
inside
dad did.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, works at the funeral home, and so her mom's like, oh, like someone's the film crew's like, oh, is what's her name here? What's her character's name? Amber. Is Amber here? Oh no, she's down at the Bone Garden. That's what she calls the funeral home. The Bone Garden. Like, think of that. Like, that's brilliant. Like, awesome. And then she's telling like about Amber's gonna quit the beauty pageant. She's like, I'm a lifer in this town. Like, I don't have anything else to hope for. Like, you got to stay here. She's like, I'm lucky if I get to go to the Raisin Ranch and get my diaper changed twice a day. Raisin Ranch is a nursing home.
Yeah. That's good.
Get it, they're raisins.
Pretty, great. I get it. Yeah, she was great. But yeah, they had a really funny chemistry. The Allison Janey and Alan Barkin. Those scenes were especially delightful. What else did I like? I really just like the pageant stuff. I like the dresses, even though these dresses were like particularly 90s dresses, so I didn't really find any of them too appealing. But I like all of like Kirstie Alley changed her dress like 10 times in the pageant.
I love all the gowns. I love all the hairstyles.
The hair. They had them for a split second. They didn't really show them in their bathing suits, which I appreciated also. Oh my God, the star-spangled hats, the sequin American flag hats, and that dance routine with
all the routines.
Things
I love.
was great. I loved
the
that.
routines.
But yeah, it was really fun. It was a fun flick.
Do you know the original title of this movie was going to be Dairy Queens? But Dairy Queen would not let them use
That
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I can understand. understand. So as in usual fashion, there's a lot of 90s things in this movie. I wrote them down, but here are some of my favorites. So those like hairband comb things that were like
banana clips.
No, it was like a headband, but with the like comb, like the comb style in it. So you put it in, your whole hair would go back.
You know what I like
in
about
that
those
thing
is that it was made it like so bumpy.
Yes.
The thing about headbands is that it like smooths out the top.
Right.
So
It was
good.
but it was a very particularly like 90s look, and like you wanted the bumps, I guess, because we loved bumps, because we also loved butterfly clips, which was the same idea. I don't know why. So we had butterfly clips, those hairband things, flared jeans, disposable cameras, definitely. And then this is more general, but the kind of like blatant stereotyping / like quasi offensive things that happened in the 90s before we were really woke, you know. So obviously like anorexic jokes, white trash
I feel bad
jokes
about the anorexic joke.
oh yeah, I felt really uncomfortable.
It is like funny, but not really funny at all. So the pageant,
so not funny.
so the pageant, the winner from the year before is in a hospital like with an eating disorder, and she's like hooked up to all these IVs, and they interview her, and you have Kirsten Dunst like brushing her hair, and like all this hair is falling out, like she's like emaciated and just really sad, and like it's just really sad. It's really sad. I was like, I used to run.
It's really messed up.
I remember this time last year, I ran 18 miles a day and ate 400 calories. Like,
yeah, stuff like that.
As I eat all of my pad thai.
Yeah, the Asian stereotypes that were like huge in the 90s and 2000s, and still a little bit happening.
And
today.
like, I didn't get. And I didn't love so much the thing with the judges, and then the weird the brother who I think had like
so then there was like a kind of like mentally
mental
like,
disability.
Yeah, the brother who they did a lot of jokes with that guy, which are like again
like his pants being off all the time and him just like drinking weird things.
Yeah.
They could have left that part out.
Yeah, for sure. So there's like a lot of uncomfortable moments, I would say, in this that I was like, ooh. Would not fly today, probably. I thought there was another one. But,
the end when Brittany Murphy, like the dad, is like, "Why did you quit the pageant? Like your brother never would have." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Like whatever, he's gay." Like that's the worst thing in the world. He's gay. And I know it is for some people, and obviously that time, whatever.
Well,
but,
in the Midwest, in like a religious
I know,
kind of
but
town,
that's like
for sure.
It's not,
right,
it's not good.
Right. But yeah, so there's those 90 things, right? Those 90s things.
Yeah.
Definitely. Before we understood. But yeah, those are my main takeaways, for sure.
Takeaways. Do you think you could spell and name the states in alphabetical order?
Not in a
minutes?
quick amount of time. I'd have to like. This is how I do alphabetizing things. I literally like go through the whole alphabet. Are there some people who can just like know that like Alabama's first? I'd have to like think about all the states and then be like, wait, which one is first?
Here's what happened to me during that scene. Okay, I was like, and then she was like, Alabama. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I was like, honestly, I didn't know.
There's a lot of A's. It's hard. It's really hard. And like when you get to the M's, forget it. There's
Arizona,
too many.
completely stumped.
Right. Arizona, Alabama, Alaska. Like there's a lot of A's, a lot of
There
M's.
was that song like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona. There was a song one to a little tune that kids learned. But yeah,
like when do you ever have to learn the states in order? That's not a skill.
That's why this song was like kind of a big thing, I guess. And why is it? I don't know. I don't know, but like she's really smart. So they had like these interviews, and the judges ask all the other people pretty like softballs, and then they ask her the Kirsten Dunst character this like crazy question. So it's like, can you name all the states in alphabetical order and spell them? And she does it.
It's good.
Yeah,
good for her.
good.
Good for her. Can we talk about beauty pageants yet, or do you have other topics?
Nope. Yeah, we can talk about beauty pageants. We should talk about poodle.
So unfortunately, I know that beauty pageants are tainted now because Donald Trump.
Do they still happen? Why aren't we watching them?
I think they do, but they're just like not on a streamable platform, is my guess. Okay. I remember when we had cable once in a blue moon, we would like catch one on whatever. But so unfortunately,
I feel like they used to be such a big deal.
Oh my god,
they're just a less big deal now. I feel like, right?
Yeah, and again, like a lot of them were Donald Trump like money fronted, so it was that was a bummer. But you had your Miss USA, your Miss Teen USA, Miss Universe, Miss America, Mrs. America. Anyone remember that?
No.
Older women. Oh my god, I loved it. There's obviously the toddlers and tiaras kind of things, which we never really watched, and that definitely creeps me out. But Sweetie and I, when it was pageant season, we would be glued to the television set.
Oh, we watched the whole thing.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. Loved the gowns.
I'm surprised we didn't have scorecards. We were just like so into it. So. And this must have been a thing that we were just like, we'd see it in the TV guide and be like, yes, pageant guys, Sunday night. Now, here's what I remember from the pageants. Ready? I feel like we watched mostly Miss Teen USA and Miss USA.
Yep.
That was the one I feel like we watched the most.
Yep.
Okay, so when it comes to the pageants, basically like the same 5 states like won all the time. So we're in little Massachusetts, and we're like, yay, Massachusetts, like so awesome. And like the girls are like never very pretty, and I just
Oh my god, yeah, they go through all the states, and we'd be like waiting for Miss Massachusetts forever, and like we never got a good one, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, why? I know there are attractive people here, like what the fuck?
Like Miss Texas was in the top 10 like every fucking time.
California. There's like a lot of the southern states, obviously, because I mean that was like their
bread and butter.
Yeah,
but yeah, so obviously would open with this like big routine, and it was like boom, 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 and like all like heavy beats, and they'd be doing these like horrible dances, and then just like this one, they'd like come up to the microphone and be like, "Hi, I'm Miss Jane, whatever. I'm Miss Missouri." Da da da, da da da. Like, and they'd say this little thing, and then go on to like do the more dancing, and it was like, oh man. So those ones had that. Then they would have a bathing
gown.
Oh,
yep.
Was first. So they'd all have to come out in these like tiny little bikinis, and they're like so ripped and in and very tan, right? Like crazy self tanner, huge hair. Like, can you imagine walking in a bathing suit and high heels on? What a nightmare!
I don't know. Yeah, and like walking to the middle or whatever, and it's just awful.
And I mean, when you think about how nasty that is, and I think they've gotten rid of that. And even as we watched later ones, you had women choosing to wear one pieces, which was like very brave, right? You're like, oh, like. And they never made it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, nuts. Yeah, but yeah, evening gown, bathing suit. But that was, and then the question.
Oh, the question.
So they do like the booth, and they have to stand in the booth while the other people have their questions. Because like that was when everyone was getting the same question.
Yes.
So you couldn't hear the other person's answer, I guess.
Because that was the big, like that was when there was like 10 people and they each got a question. Then there's at the end there's the 3 where they all get different ones.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, it's fun. But so one year, 1998, we're watching the old pageant, and Miss Massachusetts fucking makes it into the top 10, and we like lose our fucking shit. We're so excited. We're like, oh my god! And so for the pageant, yeah, you have 10, and then they do 5, and then like 3, and then that's it. So she kept going. So we were like, okay, I don't know if she's gonna make it, and she like made it to the top 5, and then we're like, oh my god. And then her final question was like, what are the things that like you can't live without in your life, or something stupid. And everyone else did like really like powerful answers. I remember like Jesus, like, okay, please give me a break. But this girl was like flannel pajamas, something and something, and that was it. And we were like, oh no. And we were like, she's definitely gonna lose because that was a terrible answer. And then they announced the winner, and she fucking won. We were so excited.
Yeah. What was her name?
Her name was Shawnee Jebbia or something.
Yep.
And it was her first time competing in a pageant, and she fucking won. Yeah. But I remember she had a really good. She was like a fitness person, I think. So she had like a really good body. But there was like, I was like, did she sleep with a judge? Because I was so confused about like how she won with that answer. But it was great. It was a great moment. We were really proud. It was
so
fantastic.
Massachusetts and all Lagos.
So yeah, we got one.
That was like the Maine girls were like rough. No offense if you're from Maine, but like they were just like it was awesome.
Yeah,
because the pageant girls, you could just tell.
Or like
oh
New Hampshire, like oh honey, yeah,
Connecticut. No, I remember I danced with this girl. So when I was really little, but her name was Vicky Grinder, and she was a Miss Massachusetts.
Wow,
I know,
lovely.
Very cool. Yeah, she was very tall, dark hair. Definitely, she didn't, but she got to go to Miss USA.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty cool. Yeah, those things were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
What I remember about the other ones, so like we said, the talent one was Miss America, which I only remember seeing like a couple times. That one was like longer, more formal. Okay, we forgot the evening gown portion. Oh my god. The best. See, I didn't want to be in a beauty pageant, though I did like think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like what it would take. Like, could I do it?
Just
like,
wanted to wear a gown.
I want to wear a gown. Like, would I get anywhere? I like did think about not entering, but like, could I be one? Right.
I just love, Ugh. But is anything worse than someone having like a fucking ugly or boring gown? I think boring is even like worse, where you're like, oh, she's just wearing a fucking black gown. Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Oh yeah, but I mean, it must cost a lot of money to go into those and to have like all the maintenance you have to do on yourself and your like. I think they do their own makeup and everything like that. I saw some behind the scenes like thing. I feel like one time, but like all that stuff costs money. All your makeup stuff, like your maintenance, obviously working out like crazy, doing. Oh yeah, I remember that dress. The ball gown, like obviously, I mean they're like the price of like wedding dresses. They're crazy. But the Miss Universe was like the
crown
top.
for the Miss Universe is like a 5-story delight. Love
that
it,
one was so crazy, and again,
a lot of
like,
countries
in the terms of that. The USA was like the UGO. We like never won. Okay, it was like never ever.
Of course not. Yeah.
But that one was so interesting because they would have these. I think it was when they first came out. It would always be a costume like around like what their country was, and you know I learned about countries I didn't even know existed from Miss Universe.
Really? Yeah. I learned about countries from. Remember those like. We had like a collection of CD-ROMs for a computer, and one of them was that like 3D Atlas. Yeah. And there was like a game on it, and I was so good at that game, and that's how I learned all my knowledge about like flags and countries and stuff was from that game. So that's where I got my knowledge from. Yeah. But I agree with you.
Mine was
there are a lot of. But they didn't have as many like little countries. No. They had like bigger ones, like the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia. I feel like they were always pretty strong. But yeah, that was an interesting one, and that one was super long because there's a lot of countries. It wasn't every country in the world, but there was still a lot of them, for sure.
Well, and I like that they didn't. I mean, it was they had a lot of representation from places where non-white places, let's say, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
Mix,
it was a good thing for us to watch.
Yeah, but yeah, those were fun to watch. We should look up and see if there's like one coming up.
I'm sure. I think I saw one advertised. You know what? They're always played on the country music station now, and you're like, damn it.
I'm gonna make Jimmy watch one.
Yeah,
I'll fucking love it.
Love it.
they're so bad.
Everybody can pick like a state, and then you like root, and whoever state like wins. Well, that's a fun way to watch it.
Oh yeah, totally. And I wonder if they've been making the questions like a little bit more political. They've like kind of been doing like they did lame ones for so long, but now that there's such a crazy toss up for like the world. Yeah, what was that one that
was the girl she ended up being on The Amazing Race like for that one or whatever. But it was Miss Teen USA. And the question was like, why do you think 80% of kids can't locate the United States on a map or something? And she did this like crazy answer. She just like totally blanked and just like said like the weirdest shit. Here's the video. Let's see. It's great though, and she's just using all those like filler words or like as such as is that, and nothing makes sense, and you're like what? So it's so good. So sorry, it's making me watch a 15-second ad. What the fuck? Oh, skip survey.
But she went on to like greater fame because of it.
Because she was a dummy.
Of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is? I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries to build up our future.
Oh my God, Mario Lopez is the host. He's like trying to keep it together. He's like, what is happening? Oh my God, you can just like see her mind like freaking out.
I've never seen it that bad. I mean, that is like the Miss Congeniality. Like, what's your perfect date? Like, oh
so
my God,
good,
so
good. Love it. Yeah. Love those pageants.
I want to be in a pageant, guys.
No, it's too stressful. But oh my God, the like True Life I'm in a beauty pageant or whatever on MTV. That was a shit too. I love that shit so much, so fucking much. I just can't get enough, guys. I can't get enough. But yeah, thank you, Michelle, for introducing us to this. We highly enjoyed
really
it.
liked
Definitely a good flick to watch. It's currently streaming on Hulu, so get your butt over there and watch it.
Yeah.
But happy birthday, Michelle. Thanks for being a great fan
being a
and
super
listener
fan.
and for listening to all of our episodes, even when you don't know the movie. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, you're so great. You're an honorary sweetie for sure.
For sure. All right, guys, come find us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Santos. Thank you, as always, for listening. Bye. Rape artist.